Riley here for Board Game Geek TV at Spiel 2014. I'm sitting now once again with Ricky Tartar of Le Mans Games. How are you?
I'm great.
I know, and you just gave me this whole wonderful little passionate speech about board games. And in fact, I think I think it encapsulates the amount of work that you guys, as a family, given that Le Mans Games is a family affair.
It is.
And in fact, your first big hit was Coup, which I think was two years ago. And then last year you had the expansion for
Reformation, where it was team adding a team dynamic.
Now this one's a little bit different though, because this is both a standalone and related
this
sequel.
one, summarizing, this takes the Dominion idea of creating a variable deck and adds it to Coup. So, I mean, in a summary, it's a standalone game. It is exactly
we should mention
the same.
It's called Coup Guatemala, 1954.
And the reason it's Guatemala 1954 is, actually I went on my honeymoon to Guatemala, so I read up about Guatemala. Anyway, there was a terrible coup in Guatemala in 1954, completely orchestrated by the CIA, and it's complete chaos, and effectively anyone could have become president. There's all these different characters, and it all sorts itself out. So we set it there. No one else sets games in Guatemala. And so there's all these characters. So why it's like Coup? It's the same rules as Coup. You have 2 lives, and the object is to get rid of everybody else. It's a bluffing game. And but you pick a different set of 5 characters to play each game. So it adds 2 things. One adds variety in terms of the roles, and 2, it adds an extra level of strategy. When those 5 characters come out, you then look at them and you go, okay, and you look at your hand of cards. Where is the relative power? Where do I think the relative power is among them, and where do I want to get to? So let's pick an example.
Sure.
We've just made it easy. So there are 25, but they're divided into 4 sections. And we advise, you can pick any 5 you like, but we advise for a balanced game to pick 1 finance. So these are cards that bring money into the game. So in this case, it's the CIA. 1 force. This one, it's the guerrillas. 1 communications, these allow you to change cards. In this case it's foreign media, and 2 special interest. We've got lawyers and the US consulate. Okay, so for this game, these will be the 5 characters we play with. And then common to all games, just so that everyone knows all the actions available. Coup, when you accumulate 7, you can coup someone. And income, which is a basic action of just taking one card. Now, instead of having reference cards, we keep these 5 sort of randomizer cards in the middle, so that at any time anyone can see these are the only actions available to all the players. And like Coup, everyone starts with 2 coins. In this case, it's dollars, and we pick from the box.
And do all the little divider things come in the box
all the dividers come in the box, and you pick. So we totally copy that idea from Dominion. We pick the 5 characters, the CIA. We make a deck. So there's 3 CIA cards, and this is the explanation card, so you can see exactly what it does. The guerrillas.
And worth mentioning too that all of those are in 2 languages on each side, so it supports 4 different languages.
Correct. And you pick all these cards. So we've got the 3 CIA cards, 3 guerrilla cards, 3 foreign media cards, 3 lawyers, 3 US consulate. The US consulate come with 2 treaty cards. I'll just leave them up there. And then we can pass these cards around, and anyone can familiarize themselves with what the roles are at any stage. And then we shuffle and we make a deck of 15 cards. So like Coup, there's a limited number of cards of each character, and then we deal 2 to each person. Let's imagine there's an imaginary person there who has 2 cards, 2 coins, and the rest form a deck. These we no longer use. That was the randomizer. Those go back in the box. And there we are, ready to play the game. And off we go. And this set of 5s will be different. The next time we play, we might choose to play with the same set of 5. We might choose to swap one out, or we might choose to have a completely new set of 5.
Why don't you give us an example of some of the special powers here?
Special powers. Now, they come in. Some of the cards on the back you'll see have a letter A, which makes them slightly more complicated, and we don't advise you playing with that the first time. But if you're an experienced player, all of them, play with all of them. So very simply running through it. The CIA, if I claim to have the CIA, I can take one coin and another action. So then I can maybe choose to just take income again, or I can claim the foreign media or the guerrillas, or any of these actions. The guerrillas, when I've accumulated 4 coins, $4, I can pay 4 and I can assassinate any other player. If it's got a flag on it, that card defends itself. So if I claim to have the guerrillas, I pay 4 and I'm choosing to assassinate
I would say no, I don't think you are.
And like Coup, I either have to show you I have the guerrillas or I have to lose a life. In this case, I didn't have it.
You're doing well at guessing things that you have this time.
Your other alternative would, of course, be claiming you had the guerrillas themselves, in which case I would lose my 4 and you'd be protected. Foreign media is a great card. I particularly like the foreign media. That allows me to take someone else's card and one card from the middle. So I could say, right, I have the foreign media. I'm taking one card from the middle and one of your cards.
Do I get to choose which
You get to choose which one. You can either, of course, it has a little protection flag on it. You could claim the foreign media as well, or you have to give me one of my cards.
I'm going to say, yeah, I believe you are the foreign media that time.
So I've taken these 2 cards. Now I can exchange any cards I like with myself and return.
Keeping the exact same 2 you had previously.
And I return 1 to you, so I know 1 card you have, and I return 1 to the deck, which gets reshuffled. Right, the lawyers. Now this is quite an aggressive card because it effectively picks on the weakest player. And it picks on the richest player. When someone is out, so suppose I'm completely out, anyone else can claim the lawyers and they take all my money.
Aha.
So this builds, that one is a game which in effect accelerates execution because people want to drive out people with money. And then lastly, in this particular set of 5, the US consulate, if I claim the US consulate, it creates a treaty. So it's taking one of the attributes that worked well in Reformation and saying, well, I claim I have the US consulate, I can have a treaty with you, with myself and this character, and from now on, until someone else creates a new treaty, we can't target each other. So that's, and then the game plays out like Coup. I continue playing until I lose both my lives, at which point I'm out of the game, and then there's the last person standing wins.
Now, how many total rolls were there again?
There are 25 rolls in different randomizers, and I've chosen here to demonstrate 5 relatively simple ones, but they do alternate to fairly complex ones. One of probably the most complex that people most enjoy, because that creates the most bluffing, is the missionaries. Every time I lose a life other than for a coup, I can claim the missionaries and then get a new life. It's a self-sacrifice. Missionaries sacrifice themselves. Now, maybe that's the missionaries, maybe it isn't. So I can keep bluffing, and we've often played games where there's accumulated multiple missionary cards, and you know that some of these are not missionaries. Anyway, so that's Coup Guatemala in a nutshell. It's the same illustrator. In this case, as opposed to taking a tip from Holbein, it's a tip from Goya, for those that, I don't know, like seeing references. So the firing squads is a tip from Goya in the 19th century coups. And so there you go.
Well, Ricky, I can't wait to give this a try. I'm a huge fan of Coup.
Right.
And I really appreciate you bringing it by so we can all take a look.
Thanks. If you like Coup, I mean, this is it on steroids, but if you don't like Coup, you really won't like it. Thanks.